Hello everyone, I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So this is day 9 of this Salesforce Learning Bootcamp, and I hope everybody is enjoying all the sessions and you are learning Salesforce in depth. So we'll wait for a couple of minutes so that more folks can join, and then I will be starting today's session. Thank you, Dori, for appreciating my efforts. And hello and good evening to everyone. Good morning to Western Zone, US. And if someone joined from any other country, so good evening, good afternoon, good morning. So I can see Kuldeep is asking a question. So Kuldeep, just go ahead till the time we are waiting for more folks. You can type your question. So today's topics are like we will be discussing about how to create report types, and we will be creating reports on custom objects. Then I will demo you how we can create joint report and how to use bucket fields. Okay, so Kuldeep is asking, there was question in the exercise like where case status is open. So um, status is open. Open option was not available. So maybe it was, I think it is new, I guess. If I take you to the setup, so let's check the status field. So if I search for case object, and if I go to fields and relationships, so here we can check the status field. Okay, it is new. So I'm just updating. So good catch, Kuldeep. Thank you for letting me know. So I am going to modify this. So I just modified it to new, right? So those who are not able to solve it because of this issue, so now it is modified and you will be able to solve. And Sunil is saying like open is a checkbox, so you can use that as well. And status, you can just select new. So sometimes it will happen in the business requirement as well. So you can just apply your common sense as well. Otherwise, you can just discuss with the project architect or manager, and accordingly you can go ahead. Okay, so let's come to today's session. So these are the topics, and this is about me. So you just need to know with whom you are interacting. So that's why every session in the beginning I show this slide to you. Then these are virtual learning best practices that everybody needs to follow so that you can just prepare yourself well. So, like this week, we have 3 sessions based on reports and dashboard. So, all the sessions are important, and I think maybe few folks are for the first time understanding reports and dashboard in depth. And along with that, you are having practice exercise. So, do that so that you can build strong foundation. And this is our session timing. So today also I will be first explaining all the topics, and then I will take question and answers. And uh, because of your uh, lots of questions, I just mentioned these 3 things where you can ask questions, right? So you can comment on YouTube videos. Many people are doing that, and I'm trying to reply on their doubts. And created a Telegram group as well, so where we can interact, and Instagram. And please subscribe, follow, and share this information with others as well so that they can build their Salesforce career. And soon we will be starting. So maybe like in the beginning of next month or maybe end of this month, we will be starting development. Not actually this month. I think next month we will be starting. So till the time, if you don't have any knowledge about programming, So you can just explore some videos of C programming, Java, and HTML and CSS so that you have something in your mind while understanding programming, right? So this is important. And we are right now in week 3. So we are studying reports and dashboard. And today is day 2 for that. And in totality, it is day 9. And let's come to the topic, report type. So first we need to understand what report type is. Okay, so yesterday I showed you different report formats. So we have total 4 report formats in which we have tabular, we have a summary, we have matrix, and we have joined reports, right? But before creating any format of report, you just need to select particular report type, right? So from where you select report type, so whenever you click on new report button, so a pop-up appears and you select particular report type, right? So basis on that report type, you will be able to create the report. So if I take you to the org again, so here you can see we have this new report button. And if you click on this button, so here for creation of report, you need to select a report type. And we have already available lots of standard report types, right? Now if I try to search for custom object, so you will see there is no report type available for student. If I search for instructor, there is no report type available. So it means for custom objects, report types you just need to create, right? So first we will understand report type in detail, and then I will show you how you can create reports for custom objects. Okay. So basically a report type is like a template for reports. Report type determines which fields and records are available for use when one is creating a report. So basis on report type, you will be able to identify the fields. Those will be available in the report. Also the records. So for example, if you are creating report type for account object, so you can decide like you want to include related records, related object records or not. So while creating report type, we have option to select more than one objects as well. So yesterday someone asked a question like how many objects we can include while we create any report type. So the answer to this question will be 4. So we can include 4 objects while creating report type. So we'll see how we can do that. Third point says this is based on relationships between a primary object and its related objects, right? So if you have any lookup or master detail relationship implemented, so basis on that, you can create report type. If there is no relationship involved, then you can just select that particular object for report creation. So for example, with accounts, uh, like accounts with contact report type, account is primary and contact will be working as a related object. Okay, so you need to select primary and then secondary objects will be the related ones. And reports display those records that meet the criteria defined in the report type. So these are some important things that you need to know before creation of report type. So if you have report type created, then only you will be able to create particular report. So first you need to select report type, and then you need to select format of report, right? So we have 4 formats, any one you can choose on which format you want to create your report. Then while creating reports, so you will see these things. So you can select any one option like primary object with related object. And second option says primary object with or without related object. So what does it mean? If you select with, it means only those records will be available in the report where parent record is having any child record. It should be there. So it is must condition. Like parent is having child, then only those parent records will be available in the report. And second option says with or without. So for example, if you are creating a report type for account and contact, so in second case, all accounts will be there, and those accounts will also be there where some related contacts are there. So both kind of. like zero contact or more contacts are available, then those accounts will be available for reporting. But in first case, only those accounts will be available for reporting where contact is available. If we take account and contact example. So this is very important to understand. And now let's create a report on custom report type. So before creation of report on custom object, so we just need to create report type first. Okay. So first I will be showing you how you can create report type, and then we will be creating reports basis on that report type. And I already showed you we don't have any report type for student and instructor object, right? And before creation of report type, you need to do one more thing. So from here, you need to go to object manager, and you need to search for your object. So we are first taking student as an example. So in the details, you can see we have this option, enable reports. So if you want to enable this option, so just click on add it. So if you enable this option, so this is optional feature which says allow reports. So if this is enabled, then only you will be able to create reports for this object. So I just enabled this. So I hope now you understood like initially why we didn't enable these options. So while explaining activities, I enabled this. While explaining track field history, I enabled this. And now with reports, I'm enabling this. Now you have knowledge of all three options. So now if you create any custom object, so you can decide whether to enable them initially or not. And as a good practice, whenever you are creating any objects, so just enable all these three because these are basic functionalities, those are required for each object. So now I'm just clicking on home and here I'm searching for report type. So here you can see under analytics, you will see reports and dashboard, and here report types option is available. So you just need to click on it. Right, so here we have this option with custom report types. You can enable users to create reports from the predefined object, object relationships, and field that you specify. Right, so just click on this button, new custom report type. As you click on that button, so you will see these options. Right, so first of all, you need to select the primary object. So right now I am going to select primary object as student. Okay. And here I am going to type report type label. So I am typing report on student. So this is my report type label. Then this is report type name. Now here compulsorily you need to define the description. So report type to create report on student object. So you can type any description that is relevant to your report type, and then store in category what it is. So if you click on new report, so here you see these categories, right? So there are lots of categories already created. So you can pick anyone, and in that category, you can just store your report type. So from here, right now, I am selecting other reports because this is student custom object report. It is not related to with any category. So you can just select other reports, right? So this way I just provided all the information. Then I'm clicking on next. So when I click on next, so here you will see this option. So just read it carefully. This report type will generate reports about student. You may define which related records from other objects are returned in report results by choosing a relationship to another object. Now, my student is primary object, right? So it might be having some related child object. So if I click here, so this option will be available. And from here, you can choose any related object, right? So we have STD classes, we have feed, student, duplicate record item, activity. So these are child. Okay. So if you remember, we created a junction object. So if I show you this object model, so we just created a STD class object, which is having master detail to class and master detail to student. So this is child for student, right? So here while creating report type, this is available. Now we have both the options. So first says each A record must have at least one related B record. So this I already showed you in the slides. If you select second option, so it says A records may or may not have related B records. So here A means student object and B means STD classes. If you want to pick any one that is related to this STD classes object, so you can just click, and here we have C. So B to C relationship, right? So B records may or may not have related C. So this is third option. Here we have only this duplicate record items, which doesn't make any sense here. So I'm not going on the third level. I am just selecting two labels. Okay, and I'm selecting the second option. A records may or may not have related B records. So it means all student records will be available in the reports, right? Now I'm just clicking on save. So this way you can see we created a report type, and it is also showing like for students, we will be having 28 fields, and for STD classes, we will be having 7 fields. Now, if you want to add or remove fields, so you can just click on edit layout, and here you can see all the fields are available. So we have this legend. Through this, you can understand not in page layout, used in page layout, selected, checked by default, added via lookup, right? So here all available fields will be displayed. And if you want to use any field, so you just need to drag and drop. So by default, all are available. If I want to remove anyone, I can just drag and drop it here, right? But initially, all the fields will be available here. If any field is not available, so you can just uh, drag and drop it from here. Okay, so this way you can just like pick particular fields that you want to display. And here we have added properties button. So please select at least one item from within the page layout section. Okay. Okay. So this is for uh, changing the property. So this is not required at the moment. So just you need to remember, like if you want to add any field that is not added for report creation. So at right hand side, you will see all available fields. And if it is not added, you can just click, drag and drop it to here. If field is available here, then only you will be able to use it in the report. Okay, and here also edit delete buttons are available. So you can just add it and delete the section labeling. Okay, so this is about how we can add and remove, and you can just read this description which is available here to understand more about it, right? So now I'm just clicking on save. So this is all about how we can create report type. Right? So I showed you each and every step to create report type. Now let's create a report on this. So here I created an exercise for you, which is for day 9. And here you can see we need to create custom report type for following objects. So student, we already created right now in the session. Instructor, I think you can just follow the same steps. Then class and student. So class will be primary and student will be secondary. Then one more, class will be primary and student instructor will be secondary. And what you can do while creating primary, class, secondary, student, so you can have third one as well. So primary, and here you can write secondary, and third you can pick STD class. So this D example will show you like how we can pick three objects together to create a report type. Okay, so I think it will be easy. You just need to select the objects and it will be created. Now I'm going to create this tabular report. Okay, so create a tabular report on student object, then select a few fields to show and store the report in tabular report folder. Okay, and like now, if you have created report type, now whatever type of report you want to create, all the steps will be same as we saw yesterday on the standard object. So once you create a report type, after that, no matter your report, you are using custom report type or standard report type, all the steps will be same for each type of each format of report. Okay. So I'm going to create a tabular report on student object now. So here I'm going to refresh this page so that we can have that newly created report type available. So I'm just going to click on this new report now. And if I click on new report, so in this other reports, you will see that custom report type available. So here it is, report on student, right? Now, one more thing you will focus. I just enabled that checkbox. If I take you to the object manager and if I search for student, so I clicked on that enable reports option. So you can see some standard report types are also available. Student, then students with student, then student history. So these are created by default. And I already showed you how you can create your custom report type. So this custom report type we created, it will be having two objects data, student and STD class. Whereas this will be having only student related information. So here you can see objects used in report type, owner, student, user, and role. This is standard one. Now, if I click on this one, so here you can see it is custom and it is showing objects used in report type, student, and STD class. Okay, so this way I hope you understood. If standard object report type is there, still if your requirement is not fulfilled, so for that object you can create custom report type as well. And this goes with standard as well as custom objects. For both, you can create custom report types. Okay, so now I am selecting the one which we created. So clicking on start report. So this way you can see tabular report is created and here we are viewing two columns. So here you can just add other information as well, like you can add email. Then if you want to add name, so I can just search for name. So name we can add. Then if you want to add age, so you can. So this way, whatever field you want to add, you can select, right? And I showed you yesterday, like if this button is enabled, update preview automatically. So you will be able to see the preview available here. So this way, student ID, STD class name, email name, age, record type, these fields are available. And if you want to run it, so just click on run and here you can see the data. And age is by default added because it is numeric field, so total is available. If you add it, go here, so you can apply filters as well. So here we have show me option, so you can select my student, my team student, all students. So generally we prefer all student. And in this session, I will be explaining what is filter by scope as well. So after this explanation, I will pick that. So I'm just applying it, then selecting all time and apply, right? So this way you can create your tabular report. And if you want to apply custom filter, so from here you can select, like if you want to apply filter, let's say you want record type equals fresher. You just want to see only those records where record type is fresher. So this way you can apply custom filter. Right. So here everything is clear. Things are same. Like you can just see the report which I created on this custom report type. It is same as we created yesterday on standard report types. So all the features are same. Just you need to create custom report type and then you can just create reports. And if you want to save it, just click on save button. So report. So I am just storing it as tab student tabular report. And we yesterday created tabular report folder, so I'm going to select that only. So I'm selecting tabular report and saving it. So yesterday someone asked like why I created different folders with naming convention. Is it in the projects as well? So the answer will be no. In projects, you will be creating folders as per the business requirement, right? Okay, so I think this you understood. Now, uh, this is your assignment. Like you will be creating instructor report type. Then you can create a tabular report on instructor. So I didn't add it. So let me just add that as well. So for practice purpose, you can do that. Create a tabular report on instructor object, and you can just select few fields and store it in tabular report folder. Now moving forward, we have summary report option. So what you can do, you can just select that report type which we created, and you need to summarize it based on Salesforce role field, and select few fields, then store it in summary report folder and create a report chart as well. Okay, so I'm going to explain this requirement. And yesterday there was one question like, can we use this tabular report to create summary report? So my answer will be yes. So if you have created tabular report, so what you can do, you can just save as this tabular report, and a new report like cloned report will be created. So tabular report you will be having as is, and your cloned report will be available. And what you can do, you can just modify that cloned report so that it can be used as a summary report, right? So now what I'm going to do, this is my student tabular report. Here you can see this button is available just beside save. So if I click on this button, so I will find this option which is save as. So I just need to click on save as. So it will give me this pop-up, and here you can see copy of student tabular report. So I'm writing student summary report, and I'm going to save it in summary report folder. So I selected it and I'm saving it, right? So that report is cloned. Now we just need to verify whether we have both the reports. Like here you can see summary report is available. We need to check whether a tabular report is available or not. So just click on reports tab, and here you can see student summary report is available in summary report folder, and student tabular report is available in tabular report folder. So this way both are available. And now if you want to work on tabular, you can open it. If you want to work on summary, you can open it. And in summary report, we just need to apply a grouping. So I'm just removing a filter from here. And here I am selecting Salesforce role. So you can see grouping is done. So basis on Salesforce role, you can see data is categorized. So 5 records are there where Salesforce role is not populated. One is related to admin, two are related to developer, and one is related to associate. So this way, we are easily able to create summary report. Now I can save it, and if I show you tabular one, so you will be having that report as tabular. So here you can see. It is having the same filter as we created. Filter is available here. So tabular is working separately, and your mid summary report is working separately. So this way you can clone reports and you can modify as per your requirement. And if you want to add chart, you can just click on this button, and from here you can select particular chart type. So let's say I'm selecting this one, but it is not showing data properly. So let's select donut. Yep. So here associate and developer. So instead of age, let's show record count. So it will be more effective. Show values, show percentage. So here you can see this is showing Salesforce role blank 5 record count. And then if we go here, Salesforce role associate record count 1, then Salesforce role developer record count 2, then Salesforce role admin record count 1. So this way it will be fruitful. So just add it, and your summary report is ready with chart. So you can just save so that it will be available to use. So I hope this is now clear. I just explained everything till here. 1, 2, 3, 4 are completed. Now, okay, it is there. Sorry, this is already there. So I am just removing this statement. So if you see this point, so you just need to create tabular report on instructor object. So it is already mentioned. Then for instructor, you need to create matrix report, right? So I'm just highlighting them so that it will be clearly understandable. So all these reports you will be creating on custom report types, right? So I just showed you like how you can create custom report types. So apply those steps. And this I'm not showing because it is on instructor. So just implement it. And if you face any difficulty, so maybe in tomorrow's session, I will show you how we can do that. So that you also get to know like whether you are understanding through these sessions. So if I solve each and every question, so that won't make much sense. So I'm explaining many examples, but few you will be implementing as your own so that you can have enough confidence. Okay, so this is it about this custom report type part, right? So I can see there is one question. So question is, can we move reports from one private folder to another folder? So I think this we can do if you go to reports and if you click on all folders, and if I click on tabular report, so from here I think you will see this move button. So if you click on this move button, so right now this report is in tabular report, so you can select any other folder and it will be moved to that folder. So if you save your report mistake by mistake in private report folder and later on you want to shift, so that is possible. Okay, so now I'm moving to next topic. And as I already told you, I will be taking all the question in the end, but this was like very easy, so I just picked it. But all the questions I will be taking at the end. So if you are having any question in mind, so you can just keep this in your mind or you can just write it somewhere and after the session, you can just ask in the Q&A part. Now let's discuss about scoping rule. So in previous session also someone told me, will you be explaining scoping rule? And yesterday we saw like while creating report, there was one filter option available in standard filter like show records through that scoping rule, right? So scoping rule you can use at two places, one list view and second report. So let me show you first both the places. So in report, I think you already saw it. So if we go to any report and if you go to this show me standard filter, so here we have this filter by scope option. This is one place where we are using this scope word. And if I go to any objects tab and if I open, so let me open students tab where we created custom list views. So here also, like when we apply filters, so filters in this, you will see this filter by scope, right? So at two places, we have this option, filtering by scope. So if you want to apply this filter by scope, so for that, you just need to create scoping rules. And how you can do that, so I'm just moving to accounts object. And here you will see the scoping rule option, right? So from here, you can just click on scoping rules. So for this object, like you can see one rule is already active, which I already created. So first read this. So scoping rules are available for custom objects. So for all custom objects, scoping rules are available. And few standard objects are having facility to create scoping rule in which account, case, contact, event, lead, opportunity, and task are available. You can create up to two active rules only. Okay. So here you can see in my org, one is already there. So how to create it? Just click on new rule. And here you need to fill the rule name, then full name, then description. Then if you want to make it active, you can. Then we have two criteria. One is user criteria and one is record criteria. So user criteria means logged in user criteria. Okay. And then we have permission criteria as well. So what you can do, select user criteria. And if you click on this field option, so all the fields, those are available on user object, they will be listed here. And as per the requirement, you can pick that and you can apply the criteria, right? If you fill a permission criteria here, so all the fields you will see as per the permissions, right? So here we are not able to see any field. Okay, so for permission, there is no field available to use. So I think we need to go with user criteria only. And then we have record criteria. So this record criteria is having only one option, record field. If you click on this field option, so here you will see only account object fields. So from here you can select particular field and accordingly you can set the criteria. Okay, and you can have only one entry for user criteria and record criteria. Then you can just save it. So you can see I already created it. I am opening it. So this is my rule name, full name. Then user criteria I selected is active equals true. And for record criteria also I selected active equals true or yes. So if my records are matching with this criteria, then only they will be available in the list view or like your report, right? So I just saved it. Now, if I go here, so here I can select this and click on done and save it. So this is for student. So I just need to go to account, then I can create new list view and then use that. This is one use of scoping rule. And another we can use in reports. So if I go to reports and open account report, so here also you will be able to use that scoping rule. Right, so here you can see I just use this scope. So here all those records are available where active is yes. And if I change it to all and apply, so now I can see total 13 records. So it means filter by scope is working fine because there is no other filter available. So this way you can create your scoping rule. And scoping rule you can use at two places. One is list view and one is your reports. And if you see it somewhere else with any other feature, so in the similar way you will be able to use it. Okay, so I think you are now able to understand it. And here also I just mentioned this requirement, so you can just create it at your own and you can test it yourself. Okay, and maybe you can test it with list view also if you have enough time. So create a scoping rule for custom object and apply it for maybe you can create scoping rule for student object and you can apply it for student list view or student report so that you will be able to understand it. Now, next is joint report. So this is fourth type of report. So yesterday we discussed three formats, tabular, summary, and matrix. Now we have one more that is joint report. So let's discuss this as well. So here we have requirement for joint report. So I'm just highlighting so that you can just see what we need to implement in each example. Okay, so I think now this makes more sense. So now I'm going to create a joint report. So here I'm going to select new report and I'm selecting accounts as of now and clicking on start report. Okay, so yesterday I showed you at top left corner we have this drop down where we need to choose report format. So we have two formats, one is report and one is joint report. So Whatever reports we have created so far, those we implemented for this report format, tabular, summary, and matrix. Now we have another option, that is joined report. So this joined report is basically used to create reports on two or more report types. So I'm just clicking here and applying it. Okay, so see it carefully. It is different and like very less we use it, but in some of the projects you may be getting a chance to implement this joint report. So as you create this option as joint report, so you will start seeing this like account block one, accounts block one. So because we just created one block for one report type. Now, if you want to add one more block for different report type in the same report, you can do. So click on this add block button. It will open this report type option. And here I am selecting opportunities and adding the block. So you can see this blue block, blue highlighted line is showing account block. And if I scroll to right, so this is for opportunities. And if you want to rename these block names, so you can just click on this pencil and you can rename, right? Okay. And at left hand side, you can see here columns for accounts block one is available, columns for opportunity block one is available. So if you want to add or remove, you can. Then grouping across blocks. So if you summarize, so it will be applied to whole block. Okay. Then go to filters and you can see different filter options are available. So for account block, you have different filter. For opportunity, you have different filter. In accounts, you are not able to see any record because this filter we need to modify. Now you will be able to see records in account block, right? And in opportunities, you are able to see records, right? And if you want to apply custom filters, so from here you can apply those as well. So this is about joint report. And if you want to add more blocks, so you can just click and add more blocks. So as a suggestion, like don't go for beyond two or three blocks because it will be difficult to manage them. So what you can do, just run it so that you can see how it will look like. So this way you will see the results. So if you want to compare the data of two or more than two objects, then you can go with joint report. Right? If you want to group, so here we can select account name. So let's see what happens. So this way grouping is done. So for account information is there and related opportunities are grouped together. So if I run it, so you will see better picture. So here you can see account name Burlington Textile Corp of America. So these are account information, then opportunity is not related. Let's see this one, Edge Communication. So here, if we take example of Edge Communication, so these are account information and it is having two related opportunities which are available here. So this way, like if you have relationship between two or more record types, so then you can just go for joint report. Right? And if those two objects you are picking, if they are not related, then I think joint report doesn't make any sense. But we can create. Like if I want to add blocks, so if I select, okay, choose a different, this one has no common field. Okay, yeah, so sorry. So if you want to select objects for joint report, so those objects should be having something in common and that you can have if you have relationship. So it means if you want to create joint report, it means between objects there should be relationship available, right? Because without relationship, that report doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I hope this is also clear now. And I mentioned this requirement here, so you will be able to implement it. Let me write summarize as well. So group records based on account name. Okay, so this is done. and rest of the things are same which we applied, and you can see chart option is also available, so these you can play around yourself, right? So moving forward, now next we have bucket fields, right? So this is important, and we need to understand how we can create bucket fields. So I'm going to show this option to you. So to create bucket fields, okay, before I move to creation of bucket fields, I'm just going to save this. So joint report, and let's say I'm saving it in private reports folder. So because we won't be using it anymore. Um, so I just saved it in private report. If you want to create new folder, you can. Now I'm going to open my tabular reports folder. Okay, not tabular report. I am going to open summary report, and I am selecting this opportunity one. Okay, I am clicking on edit. So here I am going to show you how you can create bucket fields. So I'm just removing this grouping with account, and I will be creating different grouping. Okay, so first let me explain to you what type of grouping I want, and basis on that we will be creating bucket fields, right? So here you can see we have stage field, and stage is having lots of field, lots of stage values, pick list values. So in which two are common, which is closed won and closed lost, and other stage values are considered as open. So I want a bucket where I want to categorize my opportunities. If it is closed won or closed lost, so they will be grouped together. If it is other than closed won and closed lost, so it will be grouped together. It means I need to create two buckets, one for closed won, closed lost, and one for open. So if you have this requirement, then you can go and create a bucket field, right? So if you want to create a bucket field, so you just need to click on this drop down for which field you want to create a bucket, right? And before I explain this bucket, so you can see these options are available: sorting, ascending, sorting, descending, group rows by this field. So either you type it here on top left, or you select, so it will be grouped. Then show unique count, then move left, move right. So if you want to move this field left or right, you can, or you want to remove the column, you can. So only option that is not explained till now, that is bucket this column, right? So I'm just clicking on it, and it is very important to understand. Bhakti is asking why did I choose summary report. So I just choose summary report because through this bucketing I will be grouping. So I just remove that grouping. So uh, don't get confused. If you have any tabular report and you want to convert that tabular report into summary, that also work here. But bucketing we do so that we can apply some kind of grouping. And grouping we do only in summary reports. That's why I picked summary report and removed that existing grouping. Because now grouping I will be doing with the help of bucket field. So I'm just clicking on this drop down and clicking on bucket this column. So here I'm going to name it. So bucket name is, so I'm typing stage bucket, right? So this will be my stage bucket field. And here you can see unbucketed values are 10. So now, first of all, you need to add the bucket. So at bottom, you can see this add bucket button is available. So I'm clicking here. So my bucket name is open opportunities, right? So here you can see this bucket is created, and right now it is blank. It is not having any value. So click on unbucketed values and select the values that you want to move to your newly created bucket. So all these values I'm going to shift into this open ops. So at bottom you can see you have a pick list which is move to. Click on it and select open ops. So you can see open ops bucket is having these 8 options, right? Now unbucketed is having only 2. So I'm creating one more bucket and here I'm writing close ops. Then from here I'm choosing these 2 options. Then again move to and close ops. So open ops is having 8 options, close ops is having 2 options, and unbucketed values are 0. So this way these 2 buckets are created and bucket field name is stage bucket, right? Now I'm just clicking on apply. So there is one more option is available, this checkbox bucket remaining values as other. So this new bucket will be created automatically, but right now in our case, nothing is left. We just need these 2 options. So everything is set and you can just click on apply. And on left bottom, you can see stage bucket field is created. And if I go here, so you will be able to see the values as well. So I'm just clicking on run so that we can see the values clearly. So check it properly. Here we have stage as negotiation review. So it is stage bucket is showing open ops. Then for sorry, then for closed one, it is showing closed ops. Then for ID decision maker proposal, it is again showing open ops. So this way we just created this categorization. Now how we can use this bucket field for grouping. So from here, I'm going to select stage. So you can see above you are able to select opportunity information, right? And below you have bucket fields. So I have created only one bucket field. That is why it is available. So I'm selecting it. And basis on that, now grouping will be done. So open ops are 8. And here you can see the stage values. And closed opportunities are 12, and here you can see the values. So this way if you want to group basis on your custom requirement, so for that purpose you can just create these buckets, right? So I hope this makes sense, and this example is very clean. So whenever you want to group basis on pick list field, so you can go ahead, and I would suggest to create buckets for pick list and numeric values only, right? Because for other text and all, you can't predict what value will be there. So for numeric fields, you can just have a range, let's say 0 to 100 1000 1000 to 2000 2000 to 3000. So this way you can create ranges as well. Yes, Sunil, I already showed you like how we can group through bucket fields. So this grouping is done through this bucket field that we created right now. Okay, so I think this example is also done, like bucket for stage. Now I'm going to show you how you can create bucket for numeric field. So here I'm just removing this bucket now, and you can see we have amount field available. We have amount field available, so I'm just shifting it above. So here we have this amount field, and amount is having different values, right? So I want 3 buckets. I want to categorize opportunities basis on amount in 3 different ways, right? So what I want a group where opportunities, if amount is 0 to 50,000, second 50,000 1 to 100,000, and third one is greater than 100,000, right? So these 3 buckets I want to have. Basis on that, I want to group my records. So what I need to do, I need to click here, and you can see here we have this option, bucket this column. So this is numeric field. So here you will see different kind of options. So here I am writing amount bucket. And generally, as part of best practice, we don't write bucket in the this field name that we are creating for bucket. We just write the name as it is suggested in the project as per the requirement. But for understanding purpose, I am just using this name. Now here we can just specify the range, right? So Okay, here I'm writing 50,000. So first option says less than equals to 50,000. So first option says less than equals to 50,000. So like we have opportunities, so we are categorizing them in three uh, categories. So low, medium, and high. So maybe we can say like you have lots of opportunities and you are just checking chances of conversion, right? Or maybe you can say focus. Like if amount is higher, then your focus will be high. If amount is low, so you can just have focus as medium. If it is very less, so you can just have focus as low. So first is less than equals to 50,000. Second is 50,000 to 100,000. And third one will be greater than 100,000. So this way, three categorization I have created here. And treat empty amount values in the reports as zero. So if you want to do this, you can just enable this checkbox. Otherwise, you can leave it as is. Okay. And if you want to have more sections, you can just click on add. So you can have more than three labels also. And click on apply. So at last, you can see amount bucket is created. Okay, so for 75,000, you can see it is medium. For 50,000, it is low. For 60,000, medium. For 235,000, it is high. So this way, your amount bucket is created. Now, if you want to group, so you can just search amount and bucket field is available. And this way, you can see we categorized. And if I click on run, so you will see the results of the report. So low opportunities are six, where amount is 0 to 50,000. And here you can see these amounts are listed here. And medium are nine, where amount is between 50,000 to 100,000. They are listed here. And then you have all the opportunities where high is mentioned. So these are more than 100,000. So this way you can create bucket fields and like preferably if you create it on pick list and numeric, so it makes more sense. Okay, and for date range also you can create it so that you can try yourself. So I just gave you two options because these are used more. So this is for pick list and this is for number, or you can say currency, right? So this way, joint report, bucket fields are create, like I explained, scoping rule is also explained. Now, sorry, next topic is row level formula. This is last topic for today's session. So now I'm going to explain it. Okay, so I'm going to edit it and let's create new report. I am selecting opportunities, clicking on start. You can choose any report type or any format for this. So basically, if you talk about row level formula, so it is similar to the formula field that we created earlier on particular object. So what you need to do, if you want to have a formula field in report itself, and also remember the bucket field which I created and the formula field which I'm going to create, they will be available in the report only. They won't be available in the actual object, right? So we are creating them temporarily for reporting purpose. They won't be available under your actual object. So let's say if you want to create a formula, so we have amount and I just want to create one formula where I want to have this amount value doubled, right? So what you can do, come here under this columns and here you will see these options. So add bucket column, this I already explained. Then we have add row level formula. And I think this option we will find here as well. No. So if you want to add formula, so you have this option here only. So click on add row level formula. So you will have this pop-up open. Then here you just need to create the name of the column. So I'm just creating it as double amount. Description you can write as your own. Then formula output types are four. So I'm just using number because I'm creating it for number type. Now here you can build your formula. So I'm just selecting this field. So if you want to insert any field in this formula builder, so just click on it and click on insert. It will be available here. Now I just want to apply it like this, amount multiplied by 2. Okay. If you want to validate whether it is correct or not, just click on that button. It will be validated as part of syntax. And if you want to apply any function, so those functions are also available. And these functions are similar to the functions which we saw while creating formula fields for particular object, right? So you can pick any function, but you should know the meaning of that function. And I think I already gave you the formula guide. If you go back to previous session, so here under day one, you will find this formula guide. From here, you can understand each and every formula use. So here amount into 2 is created and I'm just clicking on apply. So here you can see at bottom left double amount this column is created. So this is actually a column which is created in report itself. And if I go to right, so here it is. So I'm just shifting it beside amount. Okay, so here it is. Now I'm just clicking on run. So you can see here we have amount column and here we have double amount column. And you can see whatever amount we have, this double amount is having exactly double value, right? So this way you need to now think about the formulas and you can create. So the same way you created formula under objects, same way you can create here as well. And you will find some more features here like summarize. So this summarize option is available for numeric column. So if you want to have these values like this, so you can just select them. So for this column, sum, average, max, min, and median, these options are available. You can have these for this field as well. So for numeric, this summarize option is available. So if you want to summarize, you can. And if you run, so in the results, you will see this option as well. So these are additional features. Those are available for numeric columns. So I think it will be helpful. Okay, so if you want to save it, you can. So I'm just canceling it as of now because you might be having some questions. So I'm keeping it. Okay, so this is all about today's session. So I tried to explain everything in detail. And if you have questions, so now we can take them. So if you have any question, you can just type. So, Manan, your question is you have two objects A and B. So, I just want to know they share some relationship or not. Simi is asking, will you teach App Builder? So, in App Builder, I will be like most of the topics of admin are available in App Builder if you verify. And most of the features will be covered. I will be covering flow as well. And like at last, we will see deployment also. So, I think most like 80-90% topics of App Builder will be covered. Yeah, Manan, I got your question, but I need more reference to your question, like whether A and B are related or not. Sunil, we can add many number of objects in the joint report, but go for two or three only because it will be difficult if you go beyond that. And if you want to check the limit, you can just click on add block and try to add many. So as you see, like if you are adding objects, so there should be some relationships. And we have only three, four levels of relationships. So you can just go beyond that. Yes, Dikshita, bucket field is little confusing. So just do practice of that. And if you see any difficulty, so maybe I will explain that again tomorrow. But first, just see the recording of this explanation that I gave you and try to implement the solution of the exercises. Then we'll discuss. Thank you, Radhya, for appreciating. Manish is asking, can we group report records by role hierarchy of user? No, we can just group them basis on fields. Yamuna is asking what is in deployment and deployed, which was there while creating reports. Okay, so this is for just reference purpose. Like uh, if we are developing something, so we just select in development, right? And when you deployed something from one org to another, then you can mark that option like deployed. So those are two options. But it doesn't make any sense if you choose any one. That is not making any difference. So this is for understanding purpose because we have lots of developers on one project. So it makes sense like if you follow that. Priyanka is asking what is escalation. So escalation is a rule that comes under Service Cloud or Sales Cloud. So I won't be covering Sales and Service Cloud features. Okay, Manan, they are related by master detail. So in that case, you will be able to select A records where they will be having at least one B record. This you can do. And second option says you can select A where zero related B are available and more than zero. So these two options you can do with record type, sorry, report type. Suman is asking if creator of user no more active, how to retrieve reports and dashboards. So in that case, your administrator will be assigning those reports to another like yeah, this actually I just need to test this as well if creator of user no more active. So like if you deactivate that user, then there will be problem. But if it is freezed, then you will be able to access. I just need to search like if it is deactive, then what will happen. So Suman, I will answer this question in the FAQ document. So from there you can just understand. Yamuna is asking, is filter by scope is like filtering records based on scoping rule along with the filters which we apply on reports? Yes, both will be applied. Yeah, thank you, Manish, for appreciating. Thank you, Priyanka. Manan, also explain if they are sharing a junction object. Yes, so Manan, this I already explained. I think you joined late today, so if you go from the beginning of this session, you will be able to understand. Yes, Parikshit, you will see Apex and Trigger. I think you have not gone through the session tracker. So that session tracker link is available in the description of this video. So you can just open and you can see. Kailas, both are different. Restriction rules are basically related to your data security. Thank you, Nasser, for appreciation. Thank you, Saman. So I think there are less questions today. If you have more questions, you can ask. I will just wait for 2, 3 more minutes and then we can wrap the session. One question asked by Asit, like I'm creating new folder, but that is public or hidden or private. How do I know? So by default, they will be public. So tomorrow I will be discussing about sharing of reports. Then you will be knowing like how we can identify whether report is shared or not. Okay, so right now, if you create any report, so it will be accessible. If you want to share with other users, then you need to apply some sharing techniques. So that I will be explaining tomorrow. Yes, Manan, that may be because of permissions and security. Thank you, Vishal. Okay, Kela. So maybe your org is outdated. So just try to create new org, and because this scoping rule is new feature, so just try to create new org because in my org it is latest one, so it is available. Thank you, Sneha, for appreciation. Yeah, Jigna. So it depends on the project requirement. If you need to apply a filter basis on scope, so then you need to create scoping rule. So it totally depends on business requirement. Yeah, it is not used much, but you cannot say it is not important because if there is a requirement of business, so you will be using it. Okay, so if you have any more question, you can ask. Otherwise, tomorrow we will be having one more session on reports and dashboard. So this week I just kept three session, and next week we will be having sessions on data security. So maybe there will be three or four sessions. So I will be just updating the session tracker. So accordingly, you will get to know. Okay, so again, just share the word with others as well so that they can also follow the bootcamp. And thank you for joining the session. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, those who just typed the messages. So I'm ending the session. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye, everyone.